referral sources, search terms, and more. Are you ignoring the most profitable segment of your audience? Confetti will tell you. But the best part is, you'll also see the call to action buttons and anchor text that needs to be fixed. And we make it super easy to get started. Almost too easy. Get your free Crazy Egg trial account right now. Copy and paste your tracking code and select the page you want to analyze. Yep, that's a 30-second setup, folks. Okay, so you might be thinking, can I track multiple domains, track HTTPS pages, iframes, and Flash objects? Yes, you can. And don't worry, we know that speed matters. So if you have millions of page views per day, or just a few dozen, our top-notch hosting infrastructure handles that too. Why not sign up for your free trial right now? Put Crazy Egg in the test for the next 30 days. Hey, it's on us. And grow your business like never before.
The reason why I brought up Crazy Egg is because I was having some problems on dealer.com websites on heat maps. And I talked to their engineers and they said, use Crazy Egg. I said, great, and what a cool tool. It's really not expensive. When you think about your $50, $75, or $100,000 budget, you're driving 10,000 people a month to your website. And how do you know if the elements are properly configured to drive as much people to your service pages or your new cars or used cars? So here's just some fees. For 20 bucks a month, you can handle 25,000 visitors, which is perfect for you, 20 active pages, all, you know, this, and of course if you want to track more. But for a particular dealer, what do you really want to, your home page, service page, your finance page, right? Your inventory listing pages, you get the idea. There's not a dealer website pages are more templatized enough. The reason why I bring this up is because if our goal is to do the right thing, to get more people, we have to really look at our website designs. And one of the interesting things you'll find when you visit AutoTrader, Cars.com, or CarMax, that the inventory search box is in the upper left-hand corner. And do not think that companies like AutoTrader, Cars.com, and CarMax didn't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on user interface testing and design to have them all end up in the same place. How is that? Well, I'm sure they've done a lot of research in figuring out, so why reinvent the wheel? And take a look at your homepage design, start testing it. Google Analytics is your free tool. The other thing that you can do in conversions is to see the path to conversion. What this says is the last action is a goal, meaning a goal could be submit a lead. So let's just pretend that this one, which it is a goal map of how people submitted a lead. In this example, they were on AutoTrader and they came to your site directly as a referral. They didn't do anything. The next day, 2 days later, they saw one of your AdWords ads and came back to your website. They didn't do anything. A couple days later, they saw another one of your AdWords ad or retargeting ad, and on this time, they converted. Do you understand if you're only looking here, if you're looking at, say, like a VinLens tool or something, and you said, man, my AdWords is working fantastic. Do you understand how you wouldn't see the attribution here? Some people say Craigslist is a horrible tool to sell cars. Really? Interesting. We did this for a dealer in Minnesota, and they had so many of their leads was first introduced from a Craigslist referral. They did not convert the first time. But after Craigslist got them to the website, they remembered the dealer's URL, or they remembered the dealer's name. They did not use Craigslist anymore, so the lead looked like a direct or an organic. You get the idea? So what Google Analytics can also do is show you the shopper's path, where they came from, how many times it took to get them to do something that you want. Aside from submitting a lead for a new or used car, what are some other things that you would want them to do?
Schedule service.
Schedule service. So, Brian, we're doing some promotion on the local TV station. We have coupons on the website. Is that working? Well, the cool thing you could say is, I'll set a goal for a service appointment. And hey, look, they came in from that newspaper site or radio TV site. They didn't do anything. They came back and they submitted. You see, this is what Google Analytics is showing you. So one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is that if you're doing any off-site regular advertising or work, especially in blogs, why not teach your content team on how to tag links? Meaning, how many of you are blogging, actively blogging? Okay, so when you want to reference something on your website, right, what do? You just put, abcnissan.com or abcnissan.com/service. Wouldn't it be cool if you wanted to show your dealer principal general manager how much traffic came in from your blog writing? It's buried in the referral sources if you had multiple blogs and things. So you could use something called the URL builder that puts a little tag so that in your analytics it could say blog traffic, radio and TV sponsorship, community sponsorship. You get the idea? What I'm saying is, if you just put a link to your website, Google will throw it in with all the links, and God, sorting that shit out is really hard. You have to export it to a spreadsheet. Then you have to read all these rows and add them up manually and try to create a report. Wouldn't it be cool if you just trained your social media team, you never put a link in the blind. You never do a blind link. You never just say abcnissan.com. You do ABC Nissan and put the little refer. What it does is it forces an entry into Google Analytics with your crib note. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're using banner advertising on a radio or TV station because you bought this Comcast package, like, oh, you got me. You get these banners on our site. Like, okay, what page do you want to link it to? Just link to the home page. And then they give you this report on how many people came to your website. And you're like, that shit, I can't find that on Google. Anybody have that day? This local TV station is telling me I'm getting like 1,500 people. I'm looking at it. So you don't give them your ABC Nissan. You build a little URL. It's like ABC, KPX TV banner. Comes right in a nice little line. You understand? Okay. So these are some of the little tricks with Google Analytics that works really well. How do you build a URL? You just go to, using Google URL Builder. And you'll come to this page. All you do is you put in your website URL, right? The page you want them to go to. Doesn't have to be the home page. Could be a service appointment page. Could be a sale page. And then you can put campaign source, KXYTV. Okay? Medium, it's a banner. Okay? And you click generate URL, creates a little URL. That's what you send to the television station. Please use that to link to my website. What will that do? In analytics, it will say KXYTV banner. Isn't that cool? So if you're going to really get serious about your digital marketing efforts, you say, Brian, we sponsor a local minor league baseball team. And they have a website and they put banners. Great, AAA, Pirates, banner, okay? Why? It's because when the advertising agency sends you the reports, it's like the bullshit stops. It's like, does anybody argue with how much traffic a third-party advertiser is sending to your website? Okay, well, you don't allow them.
I don't argue, I just show them the analytics.
But sometimes the analytics gets a little crazy because if they're using an ad source or an ad manager, the URLs that come in are crazy. Here's the other one.
Well, that's why you have to tag the URL.
That's right.
And if they give you any excuse on why they can't tag the URL, just tell them you don't want to do this.
That's right. This also goes for email marketing. You all have newsletters, right? You ever look in analytics what your newsletters look like? It's hard. It's like xty-mail-server, like UK, China.com or something. You're like, what the hell is that? Well, that's the mail server that we use. Your dealer principal general manager has no clue. What the hell is that? And of course, if they use multiple mail servers, the referrals could come all over the place. So contact your newsletter company and say, when you link to our homepage, you use this, and what are you going to put? Campaign source, what newsletter? I Make News or something, right, or whatever. Medium, newsletter. If it's special, it could be, I'm saying you could get even crazier if you wanted to send them a new code each month and say December's newsletter, January's newsletter, just to see how long newsletter traffic stays in someone's email box, So here's some, examples when you start doing things right and you define your inbound sources. You can see Craigslist and direct and organic search and group site. Isn't it cool, like when you really start identifying these influences to conversion? And so one of the things that people come up all the time was, Brian, I look at Google Analytics, AutoTrader's sending me 243 people. I'm spending $5,000 a month. Gotta fire them, right? Have you ever heard that conversation? Right? Okay. So let's before I jump in, let's just go right to the live. Are you guys using AutoTrader or Cars.com? Right. Okay. Let's go live.
So Brian, just to clarify, AutoTraders.com and Cars.com can be given those same links you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's just go quick. Traffic sources. Can we all see that pretty well? Okay. All traffic. Okay. So here's Google, South Texas, Direct, Yahoo, Bing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's look at referrals. Okay. This is what I love. This is Cars.com only sent 14 people to my website. Fire them. Fire them. Right? The reason why this particular issue is so prevalent is how consumers shop for cars online. Meaning, I'm working on a study with AutoTrader because it's the #1 question that people ask when I review their budgets. Should I get rid of AutoTrader and Cars.com? So I approached both Cars.com and AutoTrader and said, would you give me full access to your enterprise analytics? Let me have unrestricted, give me 3 or 4 shared clients. Let's tag, AutoTrader, Kelley Blue Book, the dealer's site, and let me see how many people are really on AutoTrader before they ever come to the dealer's site. Cars.com almost agreed, but they were afraid. But AutoTrader said yeah. So hopefully by NAD I'll have the first official white paper from someone independent to look at this. What we're finding is about anywhere from 30 to 35% of all the traffic that comes to your website was on AutoTrader already. But I'm going to show you why the problem, what Google Analytics is not doing. It is how I shop, and it may not be how you shop, but it's a certain amount of our population shops. So we did a little bit this yesterday, and we're almost at our time. And it's a perfect time to break once we get through this napkin map. What we found is that if our goal was to expose more people to our inventory, I could drive people using paid search to my website at this rate. But if I wanted to drive people from traditional media to my website to look at cars, not to call, I need to really be clear about this. If you were on the radio and say, we're crazy now, call 1-800-NISSAN, 1-800-NISSAN, and it's a track number, it's only used on your radio, you would understand how many calls you could get, right? We're all clear on that? If you had a vanity number that was only used on radio or television, you could say, okay. But my goal, because I'm not a traditional media agency and I'm not against branding, and I believe radio, TV, and print has a perfect role in a comprehensive strategy, but I'm looking at connecting more eyeballs to VDPs because the more VDPs people view, the more cars you sell. That's just a fact. All the data supports that. So I look, when I work with a dealership, single store or a group, I have them fill out an Excel spreadsheet and they pump in all their investments. Here is an example of one dealer. They were spending $51,000 on traditional media branding, 20 on digital ops, 17 on digital leads and classifieds. That would be AutoTraderCars.com, DealX, OUSA, TrueCar. And what I found out was this, is they limited their budget. They said paid search was expensive, only $3,500. Man, that Google stuff is expensive. Oh, okay. Yet, to get people to their website from traditional, at least $11, Google was getting it for 83 cents a visitor. Here was another store, Toyota store, different budget. Okay.
How are you determining if somebody saw a TV commercial and went to the website?
Right, I'm going to show you that. That's called the napkin math. Okay. So, in order to, does anybody work at a dealership that you believe they're overspending in traditional media? Overspending in traditional. That's why you love the napkin math. Okay? Because you know what? And I say this all the time. I'm not saying dealers can be successful and really ignore digital. There's hundreds of dealers who are like that. My contention is they're just overspending. Okay? That's it. I'm not insulting their intelligence or strategy. They're successful. God bless them. So let's do the napkin math, and then we're going to stop here. But the napkin math is based off of what you can see in Google Analytics. Yesterday we covered it, but remember we just saw all these numbers, unique visitors and where their pages are going. So here is an example of a dealer, GM dealer. They had those type of statistics. So they went to their overview, 1,024 went to their home page, 2,700 were organic. Of the organic, 1,378 used their dealership name. 786 didn't. So you could say this was a Chevy dealer. If someone typed in used Chevy Dallas, right, that's a non-branded term. If it was ABC Chevy Cars or ABC Chevy Sale, that would be branded. And then this is where they were getting most of their referral traffic. Remember, referral traffic is just a link from some other website that pushes them to yours. And this is what their budget was. They weren't using AdWords because AdWords was expensive. Brian, you have to pay per click. You mean every time they click on an ad, Google's going to charge me $1 or $2? Okay, that's how it works. That's expensive. So this is the math I do. I say, okay, here's how you're spending. This is how it worked out. So I told them, you know, what percentage of the people you thought use the internet to kind of shop for your cars, find your cars. This is a newspaper and radio community. Right? What percentage? 60%. Only 60% of your customers use the internet? Yep, only 60%. All right, okay. I'm not going to argue with the dealer principal. You're a multimillionaire, successful, just wasting a lot of money. But no, I didn't say that till now. And so I said, all right, then would we agree that if 60% use the internet, of this $100,000, 60,000 could be attributed to talking to the people on the internet. The other 40,000 are just the people who are walking in with a newspaper under their arm. They heard the radio, just came in and said, I'm ready to buy a car. I didn't do any research. I didn't even know what you have. I didn't even know what they cost. But your radio, TV, or billboard just pushed me over the curb. Great. Yeah, that's what I believe, Brian. Great. Okay, that's what you believe. So 60,000 for getting people to your website from traditional. Okay, great. So what I did is I said, okay, what could I attribute to traditional media? And remember, all of these numbers are in Google Analytics. That's where they stand. So you can do the same thing. You can get this deck, go to your own Google Analytics, and do the same math, and do your own napkin math. So I said, well, every person who typed in abc4.com, I'm given to radio, TV, and print billboards because I have that plastered all over the place. That's very generous, right? Wouldn't you say that's very generous to say 100% of that direct traffic? Okay? Now, of course, in there could be their own employees typing in, okay? Or people who are existing customers who bookmark, right? Bookmark. But I'm giving it all. And I'm going to give every one of them that have found the dealership's name in search organic, I'm going to give all that too. I'm going to give a portion of the unknown, a portion of the non-branded. I'm going to give a portion of the portal. So 2,900 people, Mr. Dealer Principal who loves traditional marketing, came to the website. That's $20 a visit. And what I'm saying is, it's not that some people didn't call. And I'm not saying people didn't show up. I'm talking about the people who the dealer principal said use the internet to look at the cars before they come into the dealership. Then I said, well, listen, I can't really give you all of that, you know, because there's other influences. And for example, this dealer had about 30,000 VDP views, and what we found out from the data study so far in AutoTrader is that a large amount of the traffic, like I said, 20 to 25%, AutoTrader was the initiator of the first visit to the dealer's website, was the initiator. And how they came to the dealership wasn't from the link, visit dealer. And I'll explain how that works. So what I did is I said, okay, let me take off 30% of, I'm going to take back because I know people bookmark your website. I'm not giving you traditional media all of that. That's 29. And then the last piece, which is kind of crazy, is what if you just stopped spending that month on traditional? Can we agree on paid search when you stop, the traffic stops, right? Because pay-per-click is traffic now. But if you turned off radio, TV, and print, what would happen to your website? Somebody who wasn't in the class yesterday, if you just decided at your dealership to stop radio, TV, and print, what percentage of your traffic would decrease?
No, 0.
Right? So what you're saying then, just so we're clear, is that traditional media for traffic now results, right? Because we have sales goals each month. Maybe we'd only see a 10, 20, 30%. Boy, that really makes traditional media really expensive. So I said, no, worst case scenario, half of it would go away because the other half is really caused by traditional media right now. And when you do that, it's $42 a visit. The napkin math basically does this. If we want to sell more cars in September, Mr. Dealer Principal, Mr. General Manager, I can show you from Google Analytics and give you the best case scenario, $20 to get one person to your website. I didn't say get them to call or walk in. Dealer Principal, you told me 60% of your people are going to check out your cars before they come in and buy. They're going to look at the photos, they're going to look at the prices, they're shopping you. So my argument here is we need to change our priorities for budgeting. Dealers need to understand Google Analytics. If you've been knocking your head against the wall trying to get your dealer principal to give you just 10% of the traditional budget to fund chat, to fund pay-per-click, to fund video pre-roll, and you've been getting shut down, Google Analytics is a tool with this napkin math to show them, dealer principal, would you at least agree? You have to bait them early. Before you do the napkin math, you have to have those 3 questions. What's the primary role when people, come to our website? They look at cars. Would you agree? If we got more people to look at our cars, we'd sell more cars. Most dealer principals say, great. So now let's look at our $100,000 budget and how many people are coming to our website, how they're getting there, and what are they doing when they get there. And if I can show you that for $2 a visit, I can get people to your website to look at cars, wouldn't you agree that you could give me a little bit of the budget that's costing $42 a person to look at your car? You understand? Without Google Analytics, you're just pissing in the wind because you don't have the data. But I will tell you, people always say, Brian, dealer principals are all about the numbers. Show them the numbers, and they'll get it. Do you understand, even though this is not a perfect, and I call it napkin math, I didn't call it science, I didn't call it a new breakthrough in physics. Do you understand how you could look at traffic and start to attribute influence? So Google Analytics is the key to help make a case. And I will tell you, honestly, when I walk into dealerships that are heavily traditional, when I do this math, I have yet not to get a dealer principal to give me 10% or 15% of their traditional budget, because that's normally what I ask for. Because you can overspend in pay-per-click. Someone said, well, how much could you know, what's the max? You know, it's hard to spend more than 10 grand a month in pay-per-click unless you're in a really mosh pit, LA, Dallas, Fort Worth, you know, where, okay? So in this particular dealership, 100,000 in traditional, you see, I can do a lot with just 10%. Give me 10 grand. Let me put 24/7 check. Let me put some incentive tools on your website that may cost. Let me get a better mobile site for $300 a month. Let me do mobile advertising, maybe $1,000 a month. Let me do some retargeting, maybe $1,500 a month. Let me do some service, new news. There's my $10,000. Everything, 100% of that is trackable. 100% trackable. I can show them how many new people came to the website from analytics. I can show how many people submitted leads from Google Analytics. With me? That's why Google Analytics is so under-leveraged in the car business. It is your tool if you're a digital advocate to help the dealership move. Not by gut. Oh, I came back from a conference and I heard, you know what the dealer press is. I should never have sent you to that conference. But if you came back and said, no, I got Brian's slides, I went into analytics, I got my numbers, unique visitors, direct referrals, I did my own napkin math, I got my AutoTrader VDP report, and I present the numbers. We're spending $4 grand or $5 grand a month for 30,000 VDP views here. You're spending $100,000, $100,000, and you're getting 30,000 VDP views. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. 5,000, 100,000. What is wrong? Well, that's what's wrong. We can't get enough people from traditional media to the website on any affordable budget, but we can through other sources. And that's where the fun lies. It's all in analytics. So we're going to take a break now. We went a little late, but it's the most important.
We're all shooting photos of these.
Yeah, if you just want the deck, you just send me an email, and we're going to pick up from here at part 2, I think in a half hour, right? We're back here at 11:45?
It says a different room.
Oh, shit, I better pack up then. Okay, great.